Hi everyone, Boruto Eggs is back with another video. You've read the title, Hagoromo is beyond overrated, yes, and today we'll see exactly why. I want to clarify something. I have nothing against Hagoromo. The character had a good build-up and foreshadowing before even being introduced in the series and was very important for the plot. The thing that I hate is the fact that people treat him like some kind of invincible being within the Naruto and Boruto series, when in reality he's not even in an hypothetical top 10 strongest characters in the franchise. I'm tired of seeing Otsutsuki ranking lists with Hagoromo on top of them. It's actually pathetic that in 2023 people still believe that Hagoromo is relevant in strength compared to the current top tier characters. Hagoromo was the son of Kaguya Otsutsuki and Tenji. Once he was born, Kaguya's chakra got splitted into him and his brother Hamura Otsutsuki. Hagoromo and Hamura lived a chill life until they discovered the true purpose of the God Tree and what Kaguya was really doing behind their backs, thanks to the help of Gamamaru, the future great Toad Sage. Kaguya was sacrificing the lives of all the people on the lands by using the infinite Tsukiyomi in order to prepare an army of white Zetsus to fight the Otsutsuki trio, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and Urashiki. Hagoromo and Hamura, after being warned by Gamamaru, decided to investigate the Peak of Demise, the place where Kaguya's rituals were taking place and where the divine tree was situated. Arrived at the peak, Hagoromo and Hamura discovered a pile of cocoons, and in one of them they found the dead body of the girl Hagoromo liked, Haori. Seeing the dead body of her loved one dead made Hagoromo awaken his Sharingan with 3 Tomos already. After that shocking discovery, Hagoromo and Hamura came back to Gamamaru, and later Gamamaru took them with him to Mount Myoboku. Gamamaru showed the two brothers the Memory Stone, and Hagoromo and Hamura learnt step by step the history of their mother since her arrival to the Earth to the present times, and what she did in between that time gap. After having discovered the truth, Hagoromo trained to learn the Toad Sage mode and later confront her mother, who took Hamura hostage and was forcing him to fight against Hagoromo. Hagoromo killed his brother Hamura and revived him right after thanks to the paper seal Gamamaru gave him before the fight. However, the pain of killing his brother Hamura made Hagoromo awaken his Rinnegan in both eyes. It's interesting because he went from a 3 Tomos Sharingan into the Rinnegan directly. No Mangekyo Sharingan nor Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan in between. The real battle then began. Kaguya fused herself with the 10 Tails and fought against Hagoromo and Hamura for months until the two brothers were finally able to seal and defeat her. After sealing Kaguya, Hagoromo decided to split the 10 Tails into 9 souls, the Bijos. His goal was to raise them to trust humans and to help them. Hamura decided to stay with his mother on the moon, so the two brothers departed and each one of them lived his life like he wanted to. Until now, as you can see, there was nothing complicated to understand. Kaguya was massively above them, and it took months for the Otsutsuki brothers to seal and not even kill her. Now, I finished explaining the lore part, so let's get into the power scaling one and see how strong Hagoromo really was without headcanon and wank. After Obito gave half of Kurama to Naruto, plus a small portion of Shukaku and Jukas chakra, Naruto was able to meet up with Hagoromo. Naruto and Hagoromo then started to talk. Hagoromo was explaining his story to Naruto, and at some point, Naruto asked Hagoromo from where Kaguya came from, and if Hagoromo was stronger than her. Hagoromo then answered Naruto's question by saying that it didn't matter from where she came from, but Kaguya was powerful and more than anyone on top of that. That would obviously mean that she was stronger than even Hagoromo himself. Many Hagoromo fans will now tell you,
but he was talking about his ghost version, not his Jubi Jinchuriki one.
So, can you prove that? Where is the implication that he was talking about just his ghost form? Because I don't see any of that. Also, the Jubi that Hagoromo absorbed at his time was made of Onfong Bijos. The Bijos in the Naruto Shippuden era were way stronger than when Hagoromo was their Jinchuriki. I don't want to hear that, but they are just chakra argument. They have a physical body and they can use jutsu too, so them growing in power other than in size should be common knowledge. Can you even prove Hagoromo got weaker in his ghost version? The answer is no, and now I'll tell you why. Let's go back when Obito was the 10 Tails Jinchuriki and got the Bijos extracted from him. What happened then? Before dying, Obito was able to give his 6 Pards powers to Kakashi, and Kakashi got an absurd amp to all of his stats. The point in question is the fact that even after getting the jubi extracted from him, Obito still had huge remains of 6 parts power left in him. This means that even if you think Hagoromo wasn't referring to his jubi Jinchuriki state in that instance, the difference is irrelevant, since once you become the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, 6 parts chakra remains in you even after the extraction of the jubi. Even then, becoming the 10 Tails Jinchuriki wasn't a big deal. At the end of Naruto's Shippuden, Sasuke absorbed the chakra of all the 9 Bijus, so in a sense, he became a pseudo 10 Tails Jinchuriki. But what happened? Did he become the strongest character ever? No, Naruto could still keep up with him and even draw against him just by absorbing all the sage energy of the planet. So stop acting like becoming the 10 Tails Jinchuriki makes you unrivaled, because that's not true at all, and very disingenuous to say. The fact that in that same conversation with Naruto, Hagoromo thought that one Rinnegan Madara before the God Tree absorption was getting near his level confirms everything I've said before and debunks any scaling of Hagoromo being the strongest in the verse. And it's important to understand that in that same panel, Hagoromo indirectly admitted inferiority to his mother Kaguya once again. The Madara that was reaching Hagoromo in power had only one Rinnegan, and he didn't even absorb the God Tree yet, and yes, absorbing the God Tree is a bigger buff than becoming the 10 Tails Jinchuriki. On top of getting a God Tree amp and another Rinnegan, that same Madara got another amp. After Zetsu stabbed him, Madara was overflowing with chakra that was coming from all the shinobis caught under the infinite Tsukiyomi. What's impressive and important to note is the fact that the chakra Zetsu was making Madara absorb from the people under the infinite Tsukiyomi was stated by Naruto to be way greater than the one of the 10 Tails. Madara then, controlled by Zetsu, grabbed Naruto and Sasuke and started to absorb even a part of their chakra. That obviously was another massive amp to take into account. A Kaguya who was suppressed because she didn't want to ruin the land they were in by fighting, was stated by Sasuke to have a chakra far greater than Madara. Sasuke, the calm and collected guy, was shocked and couldn't even believe that a being as strong as Kaguya existed. Yes, the gap from her and Madara was that big. The Ninja Storm 4 game emphasized that even more, since Naruto and Sasuke were sweating by just being near Kaguya, and they said that her chakra was on another league compared to the one of Madara. Zetsu later stated that Kaguya wasn't even using 50% of her power when Naruto and Sasuke said that, meaning Kaguya massively dwarfed Madara, and consequentially Hagoromo too, in chakra and strength. Also keep in mind, Sasuke said that after he already met with Hagoromo, and I've explained before why Jinchuriki Hagoromo and Ghost Hagoromo are basically the same, so that's another proof that Kaguya would poop on him. Later, in the lava dimension, Kaguya surprised attacked Naruto and Sasuke, and then she started to absorb their chakra once again. It took both Hagoromo and Hamura to fight for months and then finally defeat Kaguya, and another thing worth to mention is the fact that in the manga continuity, Hagoromo and Hamura didn't even know that they were fighting against Kaguya. They thought that the monster they were fighting was just the reincarnation of the divine tree trying to reclaim its fruit, when in reality it was Kaguya merged with the God Tree. That's key, because when Hagoromo admitted inferiority to Kaguya, he meant the one that wasn't even fused with the God Tree, since he didn't know that he fought against her while she was fused with the God Tree, and databooks confirmed that too. The 10 Tails is just a mindless creature that can't focus his power correctly. That's why Hagoromo thought base Kaguya was stronger than her God Tree fusion version. That means Hagoromo and Hamura Togata were way weaker than a weak version of Kaguya. It doesn't get better for Hagoromo, because in the Naruto The Last Film, it was stated that Hagoromo feared the power of the 10 Tails. Keep in mind that was just a 10 Tails worth of baby Bijus in chakra. Now, I've heard some people saying that Hagoromo can use all ninjutsu in existence, but that's far from the truth. Hagoromo himself admitted that he created ninshu and not ninjutsu. Ninjutsu was an invention of his son Indra. Madara further confirmed the fact that Hagoromo shared chakra with the humans because he wanted people to understand each other's hearts without words. He wanted to lead the world to peace and stability. Indra and people with greed for power invented ninjutsu, not Hagoromo. Hagoromo invented ninshu, which was his ninja creed. But that's literally it. So yeah, Hagoromo is arguably incapable of performing any ninjutsu, or better, he can't use strong ninjutsu even if he wanted to, since he doesn't know any of them, and any powerful one too. Now, many people think that Hagoromo is able to spam infinite Izanagi, so that would mean he could rewrite every harmful action against him, and he would be basically immortal. But is that true? Well, in theory, yes, since the Izanagi is simply the practical application of Hagoromo's creation of all things. But there is a problem in that, and that's speed. Hagoromo isn't as fast as the real top strongest characters in the show, so him using Izanagi before getting one-shotted by, let's say, Ishiki for example, is very unlikely. Also yeah, saying Hagoromo could spam infinite Izanagus is an headcanon notion since he never used Izanagi against Kaguya and they fought for entire months. So, yeah, we can't say that it's in character for him to spam that jutsu. Obito gained access to the Wang and Young styles after becoming the Jubi Jinchuriki, but he didn't spam Izanagus right and left, and we know that he can use the basic version of that jutsu since that's what he did against Conan. As we saw before, Hagoromo stated that a no-god tree one-eyed Jubidara was getting closer to him. But once Madara absorbed the god tree and attained his second Rinnegan, the databook implied that Madara was unleashing the true power of the six paths. That could mean two things, either that he reached Hagoromo's level at that point, or either that he already surpassed him, and he was showing the true strength of Hagoromo's six paths power even better than him. The fact that Naruto and Sasuke combined couldn't make a dent against Tree-Eyed Madara, and they both had half of Hagoromo's chakra plus their own chakra on top of that, proves that Three-Eyed Madara was in fact above Hagoromo and my scaling is consistent. And yes, everyone forgets the fact that Naruto and Sasuke weren't only half of Hagoromo's chakra each, but they had their own chakra too. With their own chakra, they were already contending with an imperfect Ten Tails Jinchuriki. And even Jubito alone has a multitude of statements that says he was on Hagoromo's level. If Hagoromo is really that strong like every one of you say, why did he get constantly compared to weaker characters over and over and over again? It literally makes zero sense thinking he's the strongest in the verse. So to summarize everything I said in the power scaling part of the video, Jubi Jinchuriki Hagoromo and Ghost Hagoromo are equal in strength, since six paths powers remains in you even if the 10 tails in you get extracted, like we saw with Obito before. Plus, the Jubi Hagoromo absorbed was made of Ongfong Bijus, therefore it was way weaker than the one in the fourth Great Ninja War. That prime Ghost Hagoromo said one-eyed Madara before the God Tree absorption was approaching his level. Madara then absorbed the God Tree, which is a Jubi worth of an amp, and got his second Rinnegan, which is another important amp too. Madara then awakened his third eye, which is another huge amp to take into consideration. Zetsu then betrayed Madara, he stabbed him, and he made him absorb all the chakra from the shinobis caught under the infinite Tsukiyomi. That chakra was stated to be even greater than the one of the 10 tails, so that's another Jubi amp Madara got. Madara then, controlled by Zetsu, grabbed Naruto and Sasuke and started to absorb even a part of their chakra, so that's another massive amp. A suppressed Kaguya, which in the game was confirmed to be using only 50% of her power in the lava dimension, was massively above that three-eyed Madara who had multiple Jubi amps. We can assume that at full power, Kaguya would have been another Jubi worth of strength stronger than Madara, so as you can see, Hagoromo isn't doing shit to three-eyed Madara and especially fourth Great Ninja War Kaguya. So yeah, in the end, based on real scaling with multiple scans backing up all of my points, it's safe to say that Hagoromo is stronger than just one-eyed Madara, but weaker than his three-eyed version. The video ends here. As you can see, Hagoromo's scaling is full of hypothetical and headcanons. I'm not saying that he's weak, but he doesn't come close to the real strongest characters in the show. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and share for other videos like this one. See you next time. Peace.